How you going, guys? Quick one tonight. RX8, I've been at this cat, by the way, my 6-year-old. I told him he could have one sticker on my car, that's what he chose, and that's where we put it. And its face came apart while I was putting it on, so that's what he gets. Huge thanks firstly to MDR Automotive and Motorsport, MDR Motorsport. The guys up there helped me with a few things on the RX8. They helped me make a conversion plate for the pedal box, or like a relocation plate, so we could move it slightly across and forward to give me a bit more leg room. It was a bit tricky because it's working in a really tight space, and I had to move throttle cable and the balance bar cable and work around the cage and sorts of stuff like that. So I gave them the measurements, they made me up a really nice plate. They also made me a really cool little mount for my comms box inside the car, which I'll go through another day. Scotty also helped me weld up my ramps that I've made, these little extensions for my trailer, so a whole bunch of things that he helped me out after hours in like a 0-degree shock. It's freezing in Adelaide at the moment, especially up at Mount Barker. So huge thanks, Scotty. And then today, massive thanks to S&J Automotive. They let us use the workshop, and Matty Bender, as we call him, Mr. Guru, helped us with wheel alignment and corner weighting the RX8. Corner weights came up pretty well killer, so cross weights are bang on. Front to back's like within a percentage of 50-50, and axle front and rear are sort of within 15 kilos side to side, so it's pretty well dialed, which is awesome. Obviously good build, they've thought about it, they've got it right, and then he's been able to tweak it and just get it bang on. And wheel alignment came up sweet, so we're sort of ready for our first test. I'm just going through the car at the moment. What I wanted to do was just sort of show you guys under here while I'm at it, but yeah, what I'm doing is just a spanner check. And what is that? Well, before every session, so whether it's a race meeting or a test day or whatever it be, we'll go through the whole car and just check every single nut and bolt. So get the spanners on it, get the Allen keys on it, shifters and whatever else. Here's the Winters diff in the factory cradle. It's been modified to suit the Winters. So what we do, so after it's been on track, I'll clean it. And to do that, I would just degrease it. I'd do it on the hoist, but prior to having my hoist, I'd just do it on jacks and on axle stands. And rather than use like a million cans of degreaser, which I used to do, like a lot of people, and I started buying it in bulk. Now I use one of these guys, and like a big degreaser like that, mix it up into a pump pack. This is a really good way to do it. And then you just pump it up, and then you can literally just go to town. Absolutely go to town under here with the greaser. And then I'll let it sit for a couple of minutes and then wipe it all down. And then while I'm wiping it, I'm obviously looking, right? I'm just having a really good look at everything. I don't necessarily know exactly what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for issues. So I'm looking for wires hanging off. I'm looking for tears or rips in hoses, or kinks or damage that might not have been there before, where it's rubbed the ground or something on those lines. So I'm picking up anything that might not necessarily get picked up just when you're having a look at the car, but when you're cleaning it in detail, getting right inside absolutely everything and cleaning everything down, you're way more likely to find a problem, especially if it's a leak or something like that, because obviously you're going to see that. You might see where there's been a leak and then now it's all full of dirt and it's all stuck on there because you've been driving it, racing it, or whatever, and it's all stuck on the dirt. So the cleaning process, like, it's not just to keep a clean car, obviously, but it helps you to find issues. And then when the car is clean, it also helps you to find issues as well. So the dirtier it gets, the harder it is to spot things because everything's so freaking dirty. So I'm a stickler for keeping cars clean. I like the way they look when they're clean, but it's also just a lot easier to work on them. It's a lot easier to spot things and maintain them and prevent other issues from happening. So then once everything's all clean, that's usually that's a pretty big job. So that's hours, you know, that might be a night or two. After that, then we start the span and check process. So not necessarily tightening everything up, but what I want to do is, say like an Allen key bolt, I will put an Allen key in there, or like a hex drive, and I don't necessarily want to fully retighten it, because if it never gets loose and I keep retightening it, one day I'm going to snap it, right? I'm going to way over torque it, but I'll just put my hex in there and I'll just put a little bit of load on it and just make sure that it's not loose, right? That it's not moving. And if I feel it move, then obviously I'm going to retension it up. Things come loose, right? Heat does a lot of it. So obviously metals expand and contract. And when you've got different metals on different metals, you know, you can get issues there with things coming loose, or seals getting soft and things like that. Also, the more solid mount you have, everything, so engine mounts, gearbox mounts and so on, you get vibration through the car, and that also becomes an issue. So things just rattle loose. Like the Escort's really bad for it because it's super solid mounted and it's old and it just rattles itself loose. And if we don't stay on top of it, things actually just start falling out. So even the RX, yeah, we just going through it, find a couple of little things that weren't quite dialed, and yeah, just making sure that they're all super mint, and that's what we just call a spanner check. And we go over absolutely everything, and 9 times out of 10 we'll find something, and it might be super minor, but it's definitely there. And then if there's something that's always there all the time, like on the Esky we have sort of one side of the diff seems to get loose a lot, that's down as our checklist at a race meeting, that every single race between races we're checking that, because we know that that's prone to coming loose. So that just prevents us from having a failure on the track of something that we actually know about, because that'd just be silly, right? There's enough problems and enough things to worry about than something that we actually already know about. So yeah, that's the process, and that's what we call a spanner check, and it takes a long time. So probably a solid night or a day in the garage to really go through it properly. I sort of do all underneath in one go, and then have all the wheels off and go through it, and then you're eyeballing things like brake pad wear, just having a look at them, make sure that they're sort of wearing even and that they're, you know, that you got pad depth left and things like that. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to just get your eyes over it, and then while you're doing that, you're just putting spanners on everything in the sockets and whatever, and just making sure things are tight. And yeah, it just gives you a lot more confidence the next time you go out, and then hopefully she holds together. So yeah, that's it under there, she's looking good. But hope that sort of explains the basic process. Just dumping the oil at the moment. Smells like E85 because that's what happens. I use one of these guys, these are really good. You can buy them from like super cheap in places like that. Dump the oil straight in. This is adjustable too, you can run it pretty low and it fills up, and then you can just pump it out with there. But yeah, it's a good thing. Hey, and I bought a speed socket today. Thanks, Luke. Got a speed socket, they're pretty cool, look them up. Do a video on that one day maybe. Just getting prepped to do our first proper day, first test day, first shakedown. It's happening next week. So yeah, thanks again to the guys that were helping out, and catch you guys soon. Ciao.